Welcome back. So, you watched the previous video, you know that I'm pretty excited of making SRS with Devouring Diadem, and now I'm gonna talk a bit about the plan for that character and why I'm so eager to play it. So it's been a while since I actually played SRS the last time, and the reason why I really want to play it now is they slapped Wicked Ward into the skill tree. So whenever you get your ES recharge to start, it won't, like, nothing will stop it from going for the next 4 seconds. Now, it can be challenging to actually get it going, like getting the recharge to start when you're taking damage and whatnot. And that's where this helm comes in. So it's a 10% chance for energy shield recharge to start when you use a skill. So when you cast SRS, you use Flame Dust, you use Flash Suffering, anything. Any skill that you use has a 10% chance for that. So that means that if I can proc that 10% chance every 4 seconds, I have a permanent ES recharge. And that means that we go EP. Obviously, the helm has an EP. That's kind of, it was kind of its downside before. But I think, well, downside and downside, it could also save you a bunch of points for other builds. But the reason I actually have this point here right now is because I'm planning to have, this shouldn't actually be this random. I'm planning to have a Lethal Pride here. It's a large radius. Whoa, wrong place. It's a large radius, and it affects Keystone. So what it does, it adds. Right now, when making this video, it's actually bugged. The nodes are bugged, like the minor ones that they're actually removing nodes. But what it does is it adds some random strength to the minor nodes, and then on the notables, here's well, there's also the regular ones, but there's a list of what you can get from it. So there's most of these are kind of there are things that are really useful. There's the critical damage taken as extra fire, which is nice. That's physical damage mitigation. Then I have, I mean, I guess that's nice if I end up using a decoy totem. There's retake reduced extra damage from crit strikes, is really nice. Fire resist is good. This is really nice. This can have its uses if I'll go and play around with Vigilant Strike, which gives me like a 30-second fortify, so it's really easy to weapon swap out of it. But we'll see if I'll use that. There's a max life, which is nice. Armor is decent. Strength is nice, and strength is nice. So these are random, decently usable nodes in there, and those are put into all of these. In my case, Essence Search and Influence. I don't necessarily need this. If you look at my ES values, I go from almost 2k. It's basically like 100 ES. But the reason I allocated this right now here is because it has a 30% increased ES recharge rate. That's kind of to combat the downside of EB, which has 50% less. So that I get a decent amount of ES recharge because it's always up. So ideally, it'll keep me close to max ES. And then I have Mind Over Matter, obviously. That's another reason I want it, because I'm using it as a, getting effective HP pool. So this could easily be like put in here instead or somewhere else. It doesn't really matter. But right now it's here because this could give me something really nice. 20 strength is pretty decent. There's a lot of good things. Max life, etc. etc. But this is literally just a place where it could be this too. But I want to take this because you can't see my life pool anymore, right? So that's just like so that removes the mana cost issues which SRS has. Previously, you crafted blood magic on a staff or a mage. That crafting mode actually no longer exists, so that, like, you can't do that. So your other options were pretty much, if you wanted to have a decent amount of fuck, I think it's Covenant. Yeah, decent way of actually casting your SRS without getting aids from mana issues is you put it on a Covenant. And now obviously the issue with this is that you're losing out on a bunch of plus levels and whatnot. So being able to get the EB MoM with Wicked Ward completely removes that issue, and I can completely reserve my mana pool, which is really nice. There's a lot of options we have there. But yeah, let's talk about the Lethal Prodigal. So the reason why I want this is because of Glancing Blows. It gives me double block, both spell and attack block. So if I have a rare guard, this is actually like not that great rolled. Where are you there? This is just a perfect spell dodge and a random ass attack block. So with this and Bone Offering, where are you? I have Bone Offering here ticked. I'm at 38 plus 32. So with that jewel, I'm actually block cap and I have 64 spell dodge. Now obviously this is probably mainly for bossing, we'll see. But yeah, Bless Offering, every time you block, you get a decent amount of life. Now obviously this is half because of the Mister of Sacrifice. Your offerings have 50% reduced effect, so it's actually less life than. Why am I here? There. It's actually less life than that. Either way, it's a really good way of getting some extra defenses. And if you look at this, I'm like what, 6k life and almost 2k ES with a permanent ES recharge uptime, and my mana cost on my SRS is actually only like where are you? Mana cost 51. So that's not gonna be that big of an issue at all to keep up nicely. And on top of that, we may go back to look at Devouring, but Devouring Diadem also does. Where are you? It has a Feast of Flesh. It has like level 15 Feast of Flesh every 5 seconds. So what does this do? Is it gives me 400 life and 400 end shield per corpse consumed. So every 5 seconds, if there's like 4 corpses, I get 1200 life and 1200 ES back. Which is pretty nice. And this isn't like an offering, it doesn't take a slot of anything, it's just like instant life and, well, mana and ES recovery. That's another extra survivability addition from it. And because of this, we can use something like a +3 bow. Now this is actually not an endgame setup. The endgame would be something like this. The only thing that's not allowing me to craft this right now is I don't have the +2 Socket support gems. And it's debatable on should I use it on a reflex bow, but it has movement speed, and the way you can color this is you can very easily get 4 off colors, either using the like you can just go like 2 blue and 1 red, and then hope to get 1 extra off color, and then you pray for some RNG from Borichi on a research that it gives you white sockets on those remaining green. Even having 1 leftover green is fine because you can use faster attacks. So if you compare like Rootless here, 47.4% versus faster attacks, like that's fine, like not the biggest deal. But yeah, as you can see, I have Unleash here. I'm not sure how big of a deal this is. Yeah, because we have the level, like level for Empower. We look at the deep. This is now a Shaper DPS. I'm missing something. Actually, I don't remember anymore. What? More. Oh yeah, because that. Yeah. So now with a 6 link with Unleash, this is obviously a single target DPS setup. This is 111k Shaper DPS. Without, obviously we don't have an offer. If you were to use a flash offering, that's a bit extra. And then there's an animated Guardian that can give you minus 9% resistances from a helm. And then there's actually I have EE set up, and I have a curse applied, I think. Yep. Which is another like 10% more damage. But what this isn't showing at all is you can have specters on top of that. Like right now, although yeah, this is also just free. Like you can go here, you can get zombies, you can get this if you want to invest in specters, and then get a craft boots with bound fossils. Basically, this is basically bound and pristine for the spectre, like the +1 spectre. You can use, I don't even know if I have Vismortis here. I don't, but you can use Vismortis as a body armor. I just have this random Astral Blade. Actually, this doesn't even need to be that. Like, I have this is actually a chest that I literally have right now, or on my character. Well, on my build, except the high roll on this. I only have the T1 roll, but what that. But this is pretty nice. So if you look at my ES, like how much ES I actually get from this. So I actually only have this craft at the moment, but getting this isn't really an issue. It'll eventually get it. So if you look at how much ES I get out of this mod, if I remove it, it's 800 ES from that one crafted modifier, which is pretty goddamn disgusting, I think. That's why you'd want to get this mod on this particular setup to do it. But yeah, so over 6k life, around 2k ES, potentially max block, almost max spell dodge, with permanent ES recharge, and being healed whenever you block, while having, this is basically over 2 mil Shaper DPS from the Essers alone, actually more like 2.2, assuming you can have them all up. Completely ignoring any kind of specters that you can have. Like even having 3 Tukohama's one guards is gonna add like an insane amount of extra DPS. Because not only they do damage themselves, they use Scorching Ray, which lowers the fire resist of monsters. Which means, yep, more damage for SRS. I also don't have any exposure set up here, so if I were to put like Frost Bomb, can I even put the post somewhere here? Wait. Yeah, there you go. That's Frost Bomb is like another 10% more. There's also Wave of Conviction I could potentially use. Wait, that's. And for this, you would get the fire exposure. But Frost Bomb is nice because it also reduces health regen. But yeah, that's one extra decent amount of damage from one socket that is not even calculated here. I don't even know if I have room for it. But yeah, basically this is the planned skill tree. I don't know if I'll end up doing that, If I don't go the block, then this might not be worth it at all, and I could spend all of this into going in somewhere here. I could get blocked through here, putting a jewel slot here and getting this the Lionized jewel, but then it's not really worth it, in my opinion. Though by taking this, you could swap out of Bone Offering, because Bone Offering, like, this is only 50%, right? So that's like what, 12. We take this out. Yeah, like 17 block. I don't know why I said 12, but yeah, it's 17. And this gives 4. This is 10. But obviously you have to invest in here as well. But if you go here, then you all go here as well. There's a couple of different ways you can path it. Could also path through up here, put the jewel here, and take the block here instead. But the issue is that, like, you literally don't have any of the notables here. I mean, I guess you could go here, but there's a lot of shit you can do with the skill tree, depending on what you want to do. You don't necessarily need to take these, but my planned setup, you see 0% unreserved mana, is to run Hatred with Generosity, Enlighten, and Precision, and then run Haste and Discipline on my Helm. I actually think it's more if I put the Enlighten in there. I don't remember exactly. I played that around with the POB, and I probably am not even on the correct saved one. I probably like didn't save it properly. But I'm gonna keep this POB too. But there's also another setup you can do instead of this. You can also use Command of the Pit without Precision. But Grip of the Council, I also like actually have these already. It's such an insane increase for your SRS damage. It's just crazy. Basically the best in slot. But yeah, this is most likely what I'm going to have. As you can see, it's a pretty hefty damage increase. I can even a +1 support. Where do I have this bow? I don't even know. Even a +1 support instead of the +2 is really strong. Obviously, +2 would be nice, but even getting this is good. New shape. As you can see, it's like it's a lot extra because of the 20% more attack damage, which is crafted with a. I guess we're gonna go to POB quick to show you how I would craft that. We get bow, obviously bow because the quiver, and then we do Steradet, which has the more attack damage. Here, more attack damage, and then because we have a bunch of random shitty things here, we need to exclude these. So what we do is we do no, not prismatic corrode because there's no elemental modifiers. Which takes all of those out, and then we use metallic because there's no physical modifiers. So now the only things we can get is bow gems and +1 all gems. We can't get this because I would not roll a bow that is item level 83. So basically what we're going for, also there's the poison one. Basically what we're going for is a one mod prefix and 3 suffixes. I mean, I guess ideally it would be 2 prefixes where you get the +1 immediately, and that way you save a couple exalts. But I think that I'm most likely going to be able to do is just get a 1 mod prefix, 3 suffixes, annul one of the suffixes, then 2 cannot roll attack mods, exalt, and I'm guaranteed this this modifier, and then it's going to be 20% more attack damage +1. Then I'll scour off the suffixes, and then I multimod. And one of the multimods is obviously planned to be the +1 or +2 support gems. And since it's only 2 exalts, to recraft. So even if I get just 1+1 support, I will craft the bow at that point. But yeah, so that's one way of doing it. And then we have Victario set up. I actually have the Victarios, which is pretty strong as well. So with this setup, you get anger with it too. I mean, you can actually run anger with previous setup too, which I can show, but you drop discipline then, and then the damage difference isn't that big of a deal. Okay, so this is using again the +3 bow. The pathing is the exact same. Literally the only difference is that you need to use Conqueror's efficiency, which you don't need to use if you get 2 reduced reservation corruptions. So if you get 2 of these, that's the same shit. But obviously getting it might not be feasible for me in solo self-funk, so I'm not counting on that. So yeah, there's that. Basically this just gives you a bunch of extra damage with the need of a couple extra sockets, which might be an issue, and that's kind of why I don't want to do it. Also, it reduces the life pool quite a bit, which I also don't like. I don't think the damage is going to be an issue, especially if I get the endgame bow. But yeah, I'm pretty excited to play this, but I need to finish the short bow card first, because I don't have any fuses to link anything right now, because I've wasted 900 fuses on the exquisite blade yesterday. And give you a comparison of why to use a bow is obviously you can use a staff, but I really want a quiver. If you don't use a broadhead, you could also run with just a bunch of life and dexterity and whatnot, and you're like, oh god, you need 100 dex, but none of these items actually have anything ever random resistances. I just like think how much resist I'm gonna need. Just life and reduce blaster. This doesn't even have resistances, so the dex isn't gonna be an issue. Like 2 mods, and especially if I use the chest that I even have on the POB, which is this. This has 43 dexterity. So yeah, it's not gonna be an issue at all. But what you could also do is you could run a Shaper or Elder one-handed mace, and as you can see, it has a lot of mods in there. So obviously Elder isn't as good, the mods aren't that great. You could run a sword as well. This is actually more damage than the bow, but you lose the quiver, which is a lot of defenses lost or life in case you're using life quiver. But you get some extra DPS out of it, because you can link it, like you can craft it with a fortify instead of the 20% more damage, which I don't think is really worth it. You can do that, but you can also use a one-handed. Now, as you can see, this is like way beyond. Like I can't do this. This is like impossible for me to do. But you could do this and play like a hybrid SRS and something else, or you know, something like that. So you can do this, and then you can run a shield, which allows you to go also block really nicely. And I personally like Victarius because it gives you. I can easily get frenzy charges to my minions. So it's a bit debatable for SRS because they don't have they don't permanent, so it's really easy to get for zombies, even for skellies and like spectres, golems, but not really for SRS. What you can do is you can use Victarius Charity, and then here we have a flash to simulate what it would be with the frenzy charges, because frenzy charges don't require me to actually kill anything, it's literally just on hit. So with a storm brand on a boss, every ally near me kills Batman nearby. By the way, we don't really know what the radius of some of the nearby things are. It's annoying, but it's a decent radius. So with that,
we can give them 3 frenzy charges, which each equals 12% more damage and 45 attack speed, which is the more damage. And obviously now you're looking, what the fuck is that? But that's because I have way too many links here. So we have the SRS, we would have the Empower, and now we have one more link. We already have melee splash here, so it would be something like mini damage. But now we don't have Unleash, which is what I had on the bow setup. So if we that, the damage is still decent, but obviously I won't be able to make a weapon like this in solo so far. But if you're rich, you could maybe do this in Raid League. I don't know. And this saves you 3 sockets, which is big, like very, very, very big. And you can use Vigilant Strike without any kind of weapon swap shenanigans, which is really nice. And Shield Charge, obviously. So I think the end game might be using a weapon like this. I'm not sure if you really need Unleash. But yeah, again, if you look at this, there's like what 134 with the Victario setup, put the bow. And if we drop the Unleash on the bow setup, we can get the decent extra damage out of that. This is per SRS. You multiply this by 20 potentially. You can keep them up. And like I said, this is like the base. From here you can do like whatever you can take this if you want to go pure SRS. Here we get zombies for some meat shields and physical damage reduction. Or we can get specters. I mean, specters are kind of meat shields too, but they just do a fuck ton of damage. Even like having 2 or 3 specters is like insane. Increased single target damage. Or you could use them to help clear and go full single target setup for SRS. If you have the Jewel, which show you somewhere here. If you have Unending Hunger, you could actually have Spectres for the clear and then just have SRS for the, you know, helping with single targeting. There's just a fuck ton of different options you can do, and I don't even really know what I end up doing, but the goal or the original plan is to do something like this with going the block route. I'm not sure if I need to do the block route with the permanent ES recharge and having the Feast of Flesh healing me. I actually don't know if I'm gonna go to block route, and if I do, then this is gonna change a bit. But yeah, let me quickly show you what this would look like. I dropped discipline, so we have the wall haze. We need anger here, which means we need to drop precision from here. So yeah, that's what we would have on our helm. Helm because it has a nice 20% reduced mana reservation, so that's good. And then we have wall haste, and then like normal haste, then precision. And yeah, we have 100% chance to hit against a 84 paper. So yeah, this is without needing to get any kind of jewel for reduced one either. Making sure that I have everything. I have anger, have hatred, on generosity, and then we have haste. I think you can even drop that in this setup. You can't drop both of these, I don't think. Unless we drop levels from here. Yeah, not really feasible because now we drop to 96% chance to hit. But I mean, you could do that, I guess. Or if you get lucky and hit level 4 Enlighten, that gives you a decent amount of extra. like 3 levels, which gets us to like 98 again. And then there's also like 1 accuracy node here you could take, which would bump up you to back to 100. So there's a lot of like fine-tuning you can do, but the core is definitely, you don't need to necessarily go even here. I like this because the resistance was all self-found. So the core is definitely, you get this shit. This pathing is the best way to path, unless you go through here. If you do this, then you take that as well to make use of vector somehow. And then at this point, it's debatable to path through this and these 2 nodes. It's just region. And it also gives you the dexterity node here. And now we could do this for the lethal bride, and this could get something useful as well, because the notable, this could be a 30 dex and 20 strength, or that could get another 4% life or something like that. But this is usable. Also, you can go double curse potentially in a crafted chest. Yeah, I don't even have the proper chest here. Obviously not with my current chest, but you could go double curse, then slap flammability here or something. Oh yeah, should take that for simulating the extra damage you would get from this. It's not the greatest, but you could do that. You could also use people or temp change or something like that. If you're using a rare chest, because I have the craft. I do have the craft, I could do it. There you go. Only 3 exalts. But yeah, this ended up being pretty long as I expected. I'm gonna give you both of those POBs, one with the Victarios, one without it, so you can play around with them and, you know, try things out. But the moment I finish my Porcupine, I will probably start leveling with the SRS. Obviously, I probably need to get like 5 off colors on it first, but just craft the one of the reduced attribute requirements, and then go with probably either 2 blue and 1 red, or vice versa, and hope that I hit the extra 2. I don't actually remember what's the best way of getting the off colors. It might have been just like 1 red or 1 blue or something like that, or 1 red and blue because it's only 15 chromes, or 2 guaranteed off colors. I don't remember. I would have to check it, but yeah. Hopefully, the concept of the SRS found it interesting. I'm definitely excited to play it again. And the good thing also about the bow route is the endgame bow route. If you have the +2 support, is that you could basically, with no massive changes, you could slap skeletons in there if SRS completely sucks ass, which is pretty nice. But yeah, that's the plan, obviously. That is the plan, and I hope that I don't die immediately with it, because getting the diadem again might take a while. But yeah, like, hopefully on the next update video we have started leveling the SRS. Yeah, see you guys soon.